Today on the grid, we're talking about the camera in the just announced iPhone Pro Max and what it means to DSLR and mirrorless photographers. The real rocket man Kuna is out in New Mexico today, but he's Skyping in for today's show. And as always, we've got some great giveaways for you folks watching us live, and this menagerie of love all starts in just 60 seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by ProPhoto, the light shaping company. Check out the ProPhoto B1X, power in all the right places. Go to prophoto.com/US. And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Hey folks, Scott Kelby here. Welcome to the Grid. Joining us out from New Mexico, where he's out shooting the Milky Way and just generally annoying New Mexicans everywhere, Mr. Erik Kuna, the real rocket man. Hey, Erik.
Hey, Scott. How's it going?
Good. So were you at a bar or like a breakfast place or?
Oh, yeah. I'm I was actually trying to find a good connection this morning for the webcast, but I couldn't. But now I could Airbnb just here with hopefully solid internet. We'll see.
It's semi-solid, Erik. I'm going to tell you. You look a little blocky. You sound a little blocky.
Yeah.
But we're glad to have you here. Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Now you're very, very close to your camera, so your head is giant.
I know.
I have a little baby head. You have a giant space alien head, just so you know. Just being straight up with you.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't have a lot of time for the crew to set up out here. The crew being me.
Okay, I got you. Anyway, well, glad to have you here, Mr. Kuna. So we have an interesting topic for today. We're going to be talking about the Apple's announcements yesterday. They introduced the new iPhone 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And specifically, they made the iPhone Pro Max. So the iPhone Pro 12 Max, this big giant iPhone, have a lot of features that have me worried. And so we're going to talk about that today. Also, a couple other things before we get zooming in. We got some great giveaways. So I talked last week, I think it was, about this right here, this little thing. So this is a two-pack. It's a two-pack. They call it a twin pack, but I call it a two-pack of the Platypod with this little bracket here. So what this twin pack is for everybody that wants to do like podcasting, or you're doing your own interviews or things like that, because a lot of people are doing that these days. And this thing is caught on like wildfire. I only have one, and I'm going to give it away. This is it right here. So we don't have a box of them. It's this. It's this one. So later, when you tell us what you want to win, by the way, that's how you win prizes here, is you just leave us a comment, but you have to tell us what you want to win. You have to say, I want the twin pack or the two-pack. Missed a great marketing opportunity there, I really think. Okay, then we're also giving away this cool thing. So this is a brand new book on Adobe Fresco. It's the Adobe Fresco book. Now, Adobe Fresco is an amazing drawing program from Adobe. So it's for artists and illustrators and people like that. And who's it from? Victoria Pavlov. Yeah, it's Victoria's brand new book. We have copies to give away here on the show. And of course, if you don't win one, you can go to Amazon and just go buy one. But some lucky person is going to win. Actually, we're going to give away 2 copies today. 2. So let us know if you want the Fresco book or you want the twin pack. Also, you could win a Slick Pick portfolio. So Slick Pick is a company that makes awesome stuff. They make portfolios for photographers. And it's just for photographers. I mean, they straight up, it's just for, and they're great. You're going to win their level of their level of service, I guess, called Portfolio, which means they assign a graphic designer to help you build your site. I built mine there. I didn't really need it. It was so easy. But if you want help, there's somebody right there to help you build it with you. So there you go. So we're going to be giving away all of those today. The two-pack, the Adobe Fresco, and the Slick Pick portfolio level account. All today. Just leave us a comment. Tell us what you want. Okay. Other important stuff. So today hold on, someone's calling me. Oh, it's nobody I know. It's okay. So today, about 2 hours ago, we announced the winners of my worldwide photo walk competition. And I know you're thinking, but Scott, we just had the photo walk a couple of weeks ago. I know, isn't it great? I've already got the winners, all the finalists, the prizes, everybody won. Great images. But I got to tell you, the image that won, it's not what you think. But when you hear me explain why it won, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Because it is a storytelling photo that it's of historical importance. It's really, really cool. So if you want to go watch it, you can watch the stream over on my Facebook page. If you go to facebook.com/skelby, you can watch the whole thing. It's like that. So before we zoom on, also, still raising money for the Springs of Hope Orphanage. Tonight, the auction closes. So go to worldwidephodowalk.com, click on auction, and you can bid on prints from some of the Kelby One instructors or a 30-minute one-on-one session where they just answer your questions, and you can pick their brain about photography, gear, settings, post-processing, whatever you want. Or you can get a one-on-one portfolio review. Right? So that's pretty cool. You bid on those there, and 100% of the money that you bid goes directly to the Springs of Hope Orphanage. All of the instructors have been so wonderful to donate their time or their prints. Beautiful images and beautiful prints and all that. So there you go. Go over to worldwidephodowalk.com, click on the button, and the auction's closed tonight, and we'll announce our winners very soon. Okay, so yesterday, Apple has their big event. We've been waiting for it to see what the new phones are going to be. Now, I've been shooting a lot on my iPhone. I know, Eric, you shoot a lot on yours.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, it's my second camera.
Yeah, and sometimes it's my first camera.
Yeah, definitely always my first camera when I don't have my DSLR.
Right. So, and the cameras are very good. I mean, they're not trash anymore. I mean, the iPhone camera is revered and it's great. Well, they took it up a big notch. I kind of want to go through what they did that was significant, but I do want to tell you, yes, it's better in the iPhone 12, but the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the one that they are touting as like a professional level camera. So it's that particular one, which it of course is the biggest one and the most expensive one, but it's got some crazy stuff in it. So it's not just the iPhone Pro 12, it's the big one. All right. I don't know if it's called Max or just iPhone 2, but it's the Pro. Okay.
It's the Pro Max.
It is the Pro Max.
There's the iPhone 12 Pro, and then there's the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and now there's the iPhone 12 Mini and the iPhone 12.
Oh my God. Well, we're not going to focus on the Mini. We're not going to focus on it. We want the Pro Max. All right, that's the one that's got all the crazy stuff. All right, so it does have, it's the first one that natively shoots RAW. So Apple they've announced a new file format called Apple Pro RAW. And what's interesting, I don't know if you saw this, Eric, but it's not going to be available when it first ships. It's going to have to be like an upgrade.
Yeah, it's like an upgrade, yeah.
So, but it's coming. It's coming, and it'll be, I'm sure, very soon. But what's interesting about it is, so they have this new level of, it's a pretty phone, isn't it? So it's hard to even say that. It's a pretty phone, but it's a pretty phone. Okay, so it shoots RAW. Now, what's interesting is Apple has already announced they're going to make the API available to outside developers. So third-party developers will be able to put Apple's RAW in their app. So right now, if you want to shoot RAW on an iPhone, you'll have to switch to an app that shoots RAW, like Lightroom. Lightroom has a camera, it shoots in RAW. Apple's regular phone does not shoot in RAW until this new one. So this new one is going to be, the new Pro Max will be able to shoot in this new format called Apple Pro RAW. All right, that's number one. Number two, I found this surprising. It's still only 12 megapixels. For whatever reason, Apple thinks, 12's, no one's really complaining. You got phones out there that are 64 megapixels and higher. Eric, what's the highest megapixel phone you know of?
Oh, I know they're over 100. There's some Samsungs and LGs that get way up there.
Yeah, but Apple's like, 12. 12's fine.
Yeah, 12.
I was surprised that there's not more megapixels. Okay, there are 3 lenses. Now, there is still the ultra-wide 13mm f2.4, which is, if you haven't used the ultra-wide, it is amazingly good. It is literally 13mm, the equivalent of 13mm. All right. Then there is the normal lens, which is still wide angle. It's not an ultra, but it's still wide. It's like a 26mm, but it's an f1.6. Here's what makes this normal lens really, really good. So first, it has an optical image stabilization. But in the Pro Max, they added a special one that is based on the image stabilization that's used in DSLR and mirrorless cameras. So it's it moves on the axis, it detects motion, and it is based on the same technology. So it's not like its own iPhone, because what the other iPhones have is just regular optical image. The Pro Max is using the same thing. So what do they say that it does? It's going to offer you, ready for this now, hear me out. It's going to offer you to be able to handhold a shot for around 2 seconds. 2 seconds. So you won't have to use night mode as much. Now, night mode is ridiculously good, and it just got better. But night mode is really great. But Erik, weren't you the one? Weren't you the one doing the demo for me in New York of the night mode? Like we were in the darkest restaurant you've ever seen, and Erik's showing off night mode. Well, night mode got better. But anyway,
it's crazy. It's crazy
really
what
is.
night mode will do, and then it's even getting better now because I mean, and basically where it's different than like shooting with DSLR and mirrorless is Apple's able to use the computing power of really a great computer to process images. So they're taking a bunch of images, combining them in the real time, stabilizing them, and then removing noise. It's crazy what they can do in just like a couple seconds.
So this is where the real revolution in iPhoneography, it's a word, in iPhoneography is coming from. It's called computational photography.
Yep.
And what they're doing is they're using oh, hey, hold on. I got to interrupt here because Terry White, Super Terry White, Mega Terry White, Ultra Terry White just wrote something very important. He said both the iPhone 12 Pro and the Pro Max have the same camera features. The only difference is the size. So it is the iPhone 12 Pro or the Pro Max.
Well, there's a caveat there. There's one thing, and that is the telephoto lens. The telephoto lens.
Okay, I haven't got to that
yet. Is longer.
Okay, so so Teddy, Erik is what is he challenging your assertion that there is a slight difference in the telephoto, which we haven't talked about the telephoto yet, but we will. So we are going to take a short pause. When we come back, I've got more features. I haven't even gotten to those. We haven't talked about telephoto. We haven't talked about some of the other things that are pretty amazing. And then we can all be scared and freaked out when we come back from this break. Don't go away.
You know what this is? This is the highest resolution full-frame camera on the market today. It's the Sony a7R IV, and it's amazing. From the incredible autofocus performance that can recognize, and it's so fast, it can recognize faces super fast. Even with animals, it can recognize eyes really fast. It has an impressive 10 frames per second mechanical shutter, and it has a totally silent electronic shutter for image capture. I'm thrilled to go through all the features and settings to get new users up to speed fast. The camera does more than I could ever cover, even if I had 10 hours to do a class. But in this class, I hit on all the really important stuff in right around 1 hour. So if you have a new Sony a7R IV, or even the sports wildlife super camera, the Sony a9 Mark II, you're going to learn all that you need to know to get up to speed fast. My brand new class on the Sony a7R IV with a little peek at the a9 Mark II is exclusively at kelby1.com.
Hello, I'm Hilmar Smith and I'm a creative portrait photographer. In this class, I'm gonna be teaching you how to make the best of the space that is available to you. Doesn't matter how small it is, we're gonna be using gels, we're gonna be using different kind of light, we're gonna be using fog, we're gonna be using all kind of tricks just to transform your home and make it look cinematic and amazing. We're gonna be talking about how taking pictures that you are gonna composite afterwards, and I'm gonna teach you how to put an easy composite together. I'm also gonna be teaching you how you can take pictures of yourself, because if you don't have any models available to you, who's better than you? I'm gonna show you how you can involve your family members into it, and I'm gonna show you the tricks that I use with my kids to get them involved and to make the best out of our ideas, because I love to take their ideas into consideration too. If you wanna learn how to make creative portraits from the comfort of your home, come join me in my latest class at kelby1.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we're back. Scott Kelby here. We got Erik Kuna out in New Mexico. How's it going, Mr. Kuna?
It's going great.
Hey, your video looks a lot better now. Your video looks tremendously better.
Thank you.
Yeah, your video got great. Your audio sounds good. Your head's still giant, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's a little tough out here with the connections.
Now, it's pretty early out there, right?
Well, not pretty early, just a couple hours ahead or behind.
Is it possible to find an IHOP out there?
I don't know. I haven't seen much of anything. What places I've been. I mean, other than interesting scenery, but you know.
You're out in the middle of nowhere.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
All right. Well, Erik, I got a few shout outs here real quick, and I got some news for you coming up. So real quickly, just saying hi to Becky, says hi from Goodyear, Arizona. Craig's hi. He says, good afternoon, everyone in Gridland. Deb says hi from a warm California. Nicole says hello from Clearwater, Florida. Juta says good morning from Medicine Hat, Alberta. Chiquinando was one of the finalists in this year's Worldwide Photo Walk. Yeah, he was.
Photo walk.
Dude, he crushed that shot. David Smith says hi from Northeast Indiana. Bob's here. Mike's here. Kathy A. And Eddie's here from Panama. Carl from Quebec. Hey, welcome, everyone. Glad to have you here. Hey, we do have some news. We have some exciting news. Ready? So, you guys know, and you've heard us talk about here on The Grid. We've done a Lightroom conference. We've done a Photoshop conference. We've done a landscape conference. What's next? Something really cool. Check this out.
You know what this is? This is the highest resolution.
Light is photography. That's why, besides the camera itself, perhaps the most powerful tool a photographer has is a flash. When you hold it in your hand, you're holding the ability to create light on demand. When you understand light, you can create drama, mood, and emotion. For many photographers, learning flash has been an uphill battle, and some have simply given up. But that's all about to change. What if you could spend 2 full days with 2 of our industry's most passionate, gifted teachers who would finally demystify flash for the beginner and push and challenge more experienced flash users? Can you imagine just how far you would go in those 2 days? This fall, you'll have that opportunity as 2 of the top flash authors and educators come together to create a truly unique learning experience. Joe McNally, the man who opened the photographic world to the real power of flash and inspired an entire generation of flash users through his books, The Moment It Clicks and The Hot Shoot Diaries, along with Scott Kelby, author of The Flash Book, the #1 best-selling book on flash for the past 3 years, have come together to coach you, to mentor you, to teach, inform, and illuminate by sharing their latest flash techniques, their hard-earned secrets, and even the post-processing and retouching work that goes into making stunning, remarkable images as you uncover a whole new world of light powered by just a simple flash. It's 2 full days, all presented live, all online. This is the Flash Photography Conference. The power of light is in your hands.
So there you have it. Very exciting. We are super psyched. We just announced it today. People are signing up left and right, so we're very grateful for that. So hope that you will be able to join us. It's going to be really, really unique. We've got some incredible classes, and Joe is just ridiculously good. Also, the day before the conference, I'm doing a beginner session. So if you're brand new or you're like, I haven't really used Flash, I'm just kind of thinking about it, come the day before. I got a crash course for you the day before on just that, on just beginners, super beginners class. We're going to start with how to trigger your flash and all that kind of stuff from the very, very start. And that'll get you up and running and be able to take the beginner's track the next 2 days. So that's coming up. We're very excited about it, and great to be working with Joe.
Super excited about it. I mean, one thing that's really awesome about it is the way it's designed is Joe's going to be on location in his studio. You're going to be on location in your studio. Yep. We're going to be able to broadcast that out all over the world. So it'll be really cool. A little different than what we've done before. So it's always an adventure trying something new.
Yeah, and it kicks off with an inspirational talk from Joe, which I think is going to be really, really cool about light. So that's going to be, Joe's just an amazingly engaging speaker. I realize that I am there to help the beginners, and Joe is the star of the show. I'm totally cool with that. I love helping beginners with Flash. I love seeing, and I don't mean this as I love seeing the light come on. When they all of a sudden realize, oh gosh, this is how it works on. And it's like, once that light comes on, you can't turn it off. It's crazy. All right. Hey, before we go on, Terry White kicked back in and said, Erik is right. There are a couple of differences in the telephoto lens and stabilization between the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. So if you want the ultimate iPhone with the ultimate camera features, it would be the 12 Pro Max. Thank you, Terry. Thanks for looking that up. Okay, so where we left off was there's 3 lenses. We talked about the ultra-wide lens, which I love. I think it's amazing. We talked about the regular lens, and it's got the stabilization and all that kind of stuff. All right. On the Pro Max, they added a different telephoto lens. Now, I got to be honest with you. This was the one thing that I was the most disappointed in as an iPhone shooter, was that the telephoto lens is barely a telephoto. So it was, 52 millimeters, and on the Pro Max, it's now 65 millimeters. And I guess what Apple, is trying to say is it's better for portraits. Like 65 is better for 52, which I would agree, but it's not 85. At least 85. Come on. But they didn't quite go there. In fact, I was featured last week in a USA Today article in their tech column from Jefferson Graham, and in the column they were asking people, what do you want to see in the new iPhone? And I said, I want to see a telephoto lens. I said not a 4X. I want to see like a 10X or a 20X, because there's cameras out there that have that. And like Apple's like, how about a 2.5? We had a 2. How about a 2.5? Now,
well, and I think that's what's, and I'm with you, Scott. This is the thing I was looking forward to the most, was possibly getting up to there. Because at that point, if you got to a 10X, it'd be like having your ultra wide all the way up to like a 200 millimeter.
Yeah.
And that would just be the perfect, at that point, like I texted you, they got to save something for 2021. I just think that's what it is.
Well, I think a lot of the things they're doing with computational photography will continue to grow. And this whole computational photography thing is something that traditional cameras and mirrorlesses are missing out on. I mean, Apple is a software company out there. I mean, they make hardware. They do make great hardware. But the stuff that they do in software is what made them famous. And I'm telling you, that computational software, the stuff that they're able to do with it. So speaking of that, there is a brand new thing called Smart HDR3 that they're doing. And they showed some examples. So the old Smart HDR3 or HDR2, I guess it would be, was able to basically notice that you're taking a photo of a portrait of a person, they're backlit, and it would automatically compensate for that and brighten their face. Now, they're using machine learning to be able to identify more objects. Just like, in Photoshop, Adobe uses machine learning to help identify all kinds of objects with its select subject. You just click the button, select subject, and it goes, oh, that's a banana, I'll select it for you. I recognize that's a bowling ball. Oh, that's a person. That's a person's hair. It does it for you. So it's using that kind of machine learning to recognize what parts of the area are in shadows that you would want to see. And it's automatically using its HDR feature, it's computational photography, to give you a better exposed photo all the way around. So it's giving you a wider tonal range, but without it looking HDR and freaky. Because Apple's HDR doesn't look weird; it looks regular. It looks very, very good. And I've done tests with the old camera. It is shockingly good, like shockingly good. So there was that. Let's see what else was. Also, there's better night mode performance. So night mode can also, now night mode was not available for the ultra wide lens, and now it is. So
that's a big feature I was looking for.
Yeah, because I'm telling you what, that ultra wide lens, I use it all the time. That ultra wide lens, because think about it, and this is where I want to talk about where we are versus. Yeah, look at that. Look at that night mode portrait. There's no flash, there's no light. That's just night mode. Right? It's illuminating her face. The colors are natural. It's even the background lights and stuff look right. So they've done an amazing job. And I'm telling you, in the old version, Erik was shooting in a restaurant. Look at this. Look at that. There's a small light source on him. Now.
Yeah, that's what's so cool. Like with the night modes and the portraits and stuff like that too, is you can just add a little bit of light and even make it a lot better. And that's what's happening with us with DSLRs and mirrorless, where we can kick up the ISO. The same thing with the phones now. That's where these, like in the show, the lighter lights, where you have these lights that they're not big, bright. Well, those are bright and powerful, but you can dim them down.
Yeah, you can dim
just
them.
Add a little bit of light, and then really make something cool like those photos you're showing.
Yep. Now, so in the keynote, Apple made a mention, because I watched the keynote, and their keynote was about as good as a virtual keynote as you are ever going to see. It's produced on a ridiculous level. So one of the things that they said during this ridiculously well-produced keynote was that the iPhone Pro Max has the addition of LiDAR, which is, I wrote it down, so I had to go to Wikipedia to find this. It is light detection and ranging. So according to Wikipedia, it is a method for measuring distance ranging by illuminating the target with a laser light and measuring the reflection with a sensor. What does this do for us in real people terms? It makes focusing in low light much, much better. They expect the low light focusing to be tremendously better because of this addition. Also, the sensor, the actual sensor in the iPhone Pro Max is the biggest sensor they've ever made. It is 47% larger, and because it's larger and it captures more light, it offers an 87% better low light performance according to Apple. 87%. So less noise, more sensitive to light, so it doesn't have to bump up your ISO nearly as much. It literally captures more light, so you don't have to push the ISO up so high, and so it delivers cleaner files.
And that's where I think that, when you're talking about, they kept it to 12 megapixels on the sensor, but they made the sensor bigger, so that in turn made the pixels themselves bigger, which that's what's increasing this light performance. So, while they didn't up the megapixel count, what they did up is this ability to capture more light, which is something that phones have been really bad at up until now, is really when you get to low light situations. So, creating that bigger sensor. And then the other thing that's interesting in there is, not only being able to focus with the LiDAR, but that LiDAR, like right now, if we take a portrait mode, it's using two lenses to calculate depth. The LiDAR is going to be actually able to go out and create a real exact depth map of everything in your image. So that means that not only portrait mode, but any picture that you take will have a depth map to it. And that means we can refocus later, change the bokeh look, the look of the bokeh, do all these crazy things to it, that because we have that data, that depth map, You can take those depth maps right into Photoshop. You can do it right now with your phone that you have, or the current phone. But this is just going to make it better and better and better.
Yeah, they did show in the keynote how to be able to do editing to your photos after you've taken them.
Yep.
There would be stuff you would have had to do in camera. It's opening up a whole new world, and those things will be in the Apple Photos app, which keeps getting better and better and better as well. So where does this leave us, Erik? Where does it leave guys like you and me and a lot of our viewers who are shooting DSLR? We're going to talk about that right after the break. Don't go away.
Multitask with Platypod, the ultra commercial twin pack.
Distance learning during a pandemic is a challenging situation. With the Platypod Twin Pack, you can teach your students just like before by letting them see the big picture. Nothing puts the board in boardroom like the same old view. The Platypod Twin Pack easily fits in small spaces, so you can unlock a variety of unique angles that share the whole story. When you can't waste time on multiple setups, let the Platypod Twin Pack be your sous chef. It captures multiple angles simultaneously, so you can focus on what you do best. Sometimes just getting around your grid can feel like an elaborate production. The Platypod Twin Pack clears the floor of tripods and light stands, so you can use the entire room. Now more than ever, we're learning to adapt. We've moved the office into the bedroom, and we moved the gym. Whoa! The Platypod Twin Pack is just as adaptable. You can mount or strap it to just about anything. Turn any location into a professional setup. Yeah! Woo! Platypod Twin Pack. No matter who you are, or what you do, or where you do it, double your creative impact with the Platypod Twin Pack. Go to platypod.com to get your twin pack today.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. My name is Sir Germany. I'm a French photographer living in Los Angeles, California, and I'm a fine art artist. I love SneakPeek because you can host all your photos online. You can share the best one through albums with incredible privacy settings. For example, you can just share an album to like 3 people or for just a number of hours. They have amazing watermarking on the fly where you can just change your mind and watermark and redo the watermark or take it out, and it's instant on all your photos. Having an official portfolio is so vital today. Now they have an amazing launching deal where for just taking the basic subscription we're offering now, which is roughly $15 a month, you're going to get a professional designer to do your website for you. All you have to do is fill in a form with a few data and you're good to go. A designer will design your website for you. So if you don't like web design, this is a great opportunity. I think we're better off taking photos and learning how to do HTML and CSS and getting the most perfect website ever. I mean, even if you were to go the route of WordPress, which I did for many years, having a WordPress is free, but you need to host a WordPress. And a good hosting service is between $10 to $20 a month. So all you have to do is click the link below and get the offer. You will get this special price, which is 50% off for the first year, but you're gonna get it for life. So get it now. I love my SneakPeek website. I love the business that it drives me, and I want the same success for you. Get it now.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Okay, we're back. Scott here with the Kuna man, Kuna out in New Mexico. So, Erik, where do you think this all leaves us? So, you know, the camera in the iPhone keeps getting better and better. Now it's shooting RAW natively, and they're doing this computational photography. The lenses are getting better. The sensor's getting bigger, low light. They've already got the wide angle covered. They've already got the wide covered. Now they have a very, very short telephoto. Where does this leave us? What do you think?
Well, where does this leave us? You know, I mean, I think this is where either we've got to embrace this or we're going to fall off to the wayside. You know, I think that's what it comes down to. You know, there's one thing that sticks out in my mind when any of these new devices come out or new things, and then people see images to go, oh, I need the new iPhone because it does better low light performance. Oh, I need the new iPhone because it does this or that. And just like we do this with the DSLRs or mirrorless cameras, At the end of the day, all this is doing is making the capturing of the image a lot easier, right? It's not going to make your photos any better, though. You know, and I think that's a point that a lot of times is missed with people. Is they think if I just get a new camera, then suddenly my photos are going to be great. If I get a new phone, my photos are going to be great. Yeah, your snapshots will be better, because you won't have to. But at the end of the day, it's just making it easier to capture better images. Because like when we do the critiques, a big thing that we always say is technically accurate photo. I mean, nowadays cameras will do pretty much all the work for you. Even, now the phones are taking that a step further to where they're doing all that computational photography. Like you said, all that HDR is doing the stuff we could do 10 years ago, but it took the post-processing time. And now it's just done like that. So that's really where it leaves us is like, I think we've got to embrace this new emerging technology, put it into our workflow, or we're just going to fall behind. And that's why I'm constantly shooting with it and constantly using it, because it's just another tool to have in your toolbox. But it is not going to make your photos just by themselves. No device is going to just make your photos be better. No, it does take, yeah.
Well, what I think a lot of what Apple has been doing is of course, making your average person's photos look better. But I think what they're doing is they're adding the kind of features that either are in mirrorless and DSLR photos, like the stabilization, or they're trying to do things that you can't do with the DSLR. And because I want to give an example.
That's the computational.
Well, but it's more than that.
We cannot do that.
But it's more than that. You can't. That's true. You're absolutely right. And the camera companies don't seem to be doing anything to try to combat that.
It's bizarre. It boggles my mind why Canon, Nikon are not touching this.
Right.
Sony. They're not touching it.
Look at this. The lenses. Lenses have become so expensive. Like just lenses for a DSLR or a mirrorless are so expensive. And of course, the iPhone's lenses are built into the iPhone. What are you paying? $15 a month now for an iPhone or something? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Can you get my screen? I don't know if I want to see if control room can see my screen. Okay, so this is, you probably recognize this picture I took in China last year in a workshop when we were allowed to travel and live our lives. now no country will have us. But anyway, so I took this picture out there. But this picture, this one that you see on screen right now, that was taken with my iPhone. That's an iPhone picture. And the reason I even thought to shoot with it was I'm out there with my tripod and my DSLR and my heavy lens and my remote, my cable release and all this crap. I've lugged all this stuff out on rafts and I've hiked and done all this stuff. And I'm there now. My teacher with me is Rick Salmon. So Rick Salmon is there, and Rick's wife Susan is there. Now Susan is a good iPhone photographer. She's quite talented with her iPhone. So we're all sitting out there. And Susan walks over. We're in the middle of freaking nowhere, China. So we're in China where Erik is into New Mexico, middle of nowhere, right? And Susan walks over and goes, look, and she's showing me a picture on her iPhone. And I'm looking at my picture on my very expensive, brand new mirrorless DSLR. And I'm looking at hers and I'm looking at mine. And she goes, look, I posted it to Instagram. And it's on her Instagram page. And she's opening these apps and adding all this stuff. And I'm like, now I realize that I took this picture with my camera. And yeah, mine has higher megapixels. But you're seeing it there full screen, right? On a 16-inch monitor. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm thinking, how many hours will it be before I could put one of these pictures on Instagram? Well, I'm going to have to get back to the hotel, which is hours away. First, I have to hike. I got to hike and take a raft and hike again and get in a bus and then change buses and then get to my hotel. Get out my laptop, get out my card reader, import the images, sort the images, find the one I want, take it into Lightroom, edit it, then send it back to my freaking phone. Then I have to send it back to my phone, load it in my camera roll, launch my Instagram app on my phone, upload the image to Instagram. Susan has it uploaded and sharing it while we're standing out there in the middle of nowhere. And I'm looking at her image and I'm looking at my image and I'm going, why did I do all this? Why did I carry all this heavy stuff? Why did I invest in all this stuff? Susan's over there hand-holding, knocking these shots out. So that's why I said, what the heck? And I took my phone out and literally, I went click or tap, tap, tap. That's it. There's nothing to it. And so we're going, all of us in my workshop, we're all going through all this trouble, and Susan's there. Oh, look at my iPhone. And then Susan goes, oh, about 5 minutes later, she comes up and she says, look. And she shows me a video, because these fishermen, a little later, we got them to take their nets and throw them. Now, the sun had come up and stuff. Didn't look as cool. But they're throwing their nets. She does slow motion. So the net goes and it goes in slow-mo, super slow-mo. And you're like, so now we're all standing there with our iPhones using the slow-mo feature. And I'm like, there's no slow-mo feature in my camera. My camera shoots video, but it doesn't do that. And she's sharing it to Instagram. We're standing there in the middle of freaking nowhere. And guys, stuff like this worries the hell out of me. Like, where does this leave the future of DSLR and mirrorlesses, where Susan's standing next to me doing all this amazing stuff, capturing video, doing slow-mo, uploading to Instagram, and I'm just sitting there going, well, in a couple hours I could do this. And yeah, I could make it more of a pain in the butt. I could have brought my laptop and I could have tethered to it in the bus, and you're not going to do all that crap. It's a pain in the butt. Susan's over there throwing stuff up left and right. And she's like, look, I can add a moon, I can add a sun, I can add lens flares, I can add this, and I'm just like, I'm telling you guys, I'm just saying.
So there was a question.
Smell the coffee.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. And I'm reading the comments, and there's a couple comments around this, and this is where I think us as photographers would get so caught up on certain things. Because everybody's debating, yeah, great, Scott, but it's a 12 megapixel image. How does it print? You know, and they're just like, oh, it can't print that big and all that stuff.
How big do you need to print it?
I mean, how big do you need to print it? Because I will tell you this, I've seen iPhone photos at 12 megapixels that look great at a 24 by 36.
Of course.
And so if you needed it bigger than that, here's the other thing. There's tons of resizing apps nowadays, or very good resizing apps nowadays. Oh, yeah. So this idea that we need more and more megapixels in order for the image to be really to print well, I think those days are long gone, long gone. So that's where, you know, what's happening with the phones is they're producing really clean images anymore. And now, I mean, with the ability, we've had the ability to shoot in RAW. But now even having Apple have the ability to shoot in RAW with their stuff, I don't think that's going to be an issue anymore. I mean, I got to think, you know, let's rewind it 12 years, right? 12 years, maybe 13 years. I mean, we're talking 12 megapixels was like the top of the line Nikon, the top of the line Canon.
Yeah, the $6,000 cameras. That was 12 megapixels.
$6,000, and everybody looked at. You know, a big print from a famous photographer on the wall and didn't go, yeah, but it's kind of grainy. And here's the thing. The phone has less noise and something than those cameras did back then. You know, yeah, so, dude, I mean,
I had a Nikon 2DX.
It's long gone.
I had a Nikon 2DX. That thing had more noise than any iPhone ever made. It was a noise maker. But here's the thing. In Calibra's office right now, she has a beautiful framed print on her wall, 3 images, all from her phone. They look fantastic. I've printed photo books with her images. I printed her images in actual books. They look fine. And think about it. Very few people are ever going to print a 24 by 36. It's just the reality of it. If you were to make a 24 by 36 inch print, Erik, are you printing all the way to the edge to edge, like a consumer does when they go to Walgreens? No, you're going to leave a white border around it. It's not actually going to be a 24 by 36. It's probably going to be a 20 by 30 or less. And you got plenty of, with 12 megapixels, you have plenty of resolution to print a great photo. And by the way, just so you know, the number of people that actually make large prints can fit on the head of a dime. Unfortunately, we don't print very much. Our world is shared online. Unfortunately, I wish more people printed. I love printing. I'm an evangelist of printing. I think everybody should print. However, the reality of it is not enough people print. Very, very, very few photographers ever make a print that's bigger than a 4x6 from Walgreens. So that's bad. Bill Monroe says, I agree, iPhone pics can be amazing, but more often than not, it's because the lighting was excellent. And good luck shooting fast action, low light sports. Yeah, Bill, it's not for everybody. It's not for every situation. Yeah, I wouldn't try low light sports with it. It's certainly not made for that. But you know what? There's all kinds of DSLRs and mirrorlesses that are also not made for low light sports. There are all kinds. I've got a Canon 5DS. What do I have, Eric? A 5DR?
5DSR.
Yeah, I would never use that for sports. It sucks in low light and it's slow as hell. There are DSLRs and mirrorlesses that don't work for it either. So it's not going to replace every wildlife photographer's camera, and it's not going to replace every sports photographer's camera yet. But I'm just telling you, most of us aren't pro sports photographers, and most of us aren't pro wildlife photographers. Those people are still going to have to buy a DSLR. But I've talked to so many people that are like, holy cow. And look at this. Karen Berner Mitchell just said, my photo walk photo was on my phone. My photo walk photo, she used her phone. It's already won an award on another site. There you go. Mariana says, Scott, how can you take photos of like the moon, for example, with an iPhone 12? So I'm going to leave this to Eric, but I will just say that you can certainly shoot the moon with the iPhone. It's not going to be as close as you want it to be because they only made it 62.
Exactly. I mean, that's when you get down to it. I mean, these are limitations. There are going to be limitations. The telephoto range, that's when you're talking about sports a lot of times. Wildlife, when the things you're talking about here, what do they all have in common? You usually have that $6,000 white Canon, if you're Canon, that white lens that, is just beefy and bulky. Those are the people that are going, well, what about this? What about that? Because it's not even close yet. We're not there yet. We're at a what is it? 4x zoom or 5x now. What was the equivalent? It was like 62, 60. I mean, you're not going to shoot a award-winning moon photograph. If you're trying to get the moon, you're going to need to be up there in that 200, 400, 600, 800, even more range. That's what you're getting into. So that's where a phone's just not going to be the thing for that yet. But like Scott said, a lot of stuff is yet because we don't know what's coming down. We don't know what's the future holds or the future's in store. It's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds because it's interesting. Well, going back though, real quick, Scott, to the printing stuff, somebody was asking about the resizing. One of the apps that really good at resizing, and again, a lot of times I'm using this when I'm cropping in or trying to get something that resizing, is that Topaz has that gigapixel AI.
Yep.
There's a bunch of them out there, but that Topaz one, I mean, it's magic. I don't know who sold their soul for that, but
they're using AI and
yeah, it's crazy what they're doing, and it's really good. So I mean, that's where I can go back to photos that were on those old cameras, and between their denoise, which will take out that crappy noise we had on things like the old Canons and Nikons, and then be able to then upsize that to whatever size you want. But again, unless you're getting out there and printing like you're saying, most people are seeing your work at not that high a resolution anyways.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I do want to answer. There's a couple more comments here, but we're about out of time, so we don't have much time left. But I do want to mention, I think the reason why we're still smiling today is because, thank you, Apple, you only put in a 62 millimeter telephoto. What would our conversation be today, Erik, if they did what other camera companies have done? So what other companies are doing is they're taking the lens. So Apple doesn't want the lenses to extend outside the body, right? They don't want them to stick out of the Fresco book. No, they don't want them to stick out of the body. So what they do is everything's inside the camera. What they're doing to put telephotos in is, ready? They're putting the lens going vertically and using a mirror, a freaking mirror like a DSLR. And other camera manufacturers are doing that. So there's other camera manufacturers who are already using telephoto lenses, and that's how they're doing it. They're putting vertically in the camera and then using a mirror to bounce you out. Now, here's the thing. If Apple had introduced what I wrote in that article was a 10x or a 20x real optical zoom, this show would be very different today, because we'd be talking about we're hosed. Because the only thing missing, now go back 2 years ago, just 2 years, 18 months ago, there was no ultra wide. There was really only just wide and a baby, not even a telephoto. It's like a 52 millimeters. It's almost like not even a wide angle. Now we have ultra wide that looks phenomenal. If they had added that telephoto, I don't want to say it's game over, but it's game mostly over. Another year probably is all it's going to be, and then you're going to have
that.
Okay.
So I know what you're saying with the game over, but I think what it is it's more like game on, because what it is that's now opening up. You're shooting to everything. Like at that point, I feel like I would be. That's the tool that's missing right now. With why I still carry a backpack sometimes is because I need that extra range. So I think it's almost, if you start embracing this stuff, when that does happen, it's just going to be an extension. I mean, I've gone to accessorizing my iPhone with the kind of the same stuff that I use for my DSLR and mirrorless, is just so I have the same kind of shooting, like, tripod mount. Like right now, I'm on my iPhone right now. It's on a tripod mount, on a tripod aimed at me, so, I've got accessories for it.
Okay. So Erik, answer me this. Riddle me this, Batman. Right now, our advantages, and correct me if I'm wrong, the advantages of having a DSLR or a mirrorless are that you can get longer lenses. They're very expensive, but you can get them. And that the megapixels are higher.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you can get higher megapixel cameras.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
what else?
I mean, that's kind of the bottom line of what I kind of am saying is, I think we just embrace it. Like, I don't know about you, but I actually enjoy shooting with my phone better than I enjoy shooting with my DSLR. I don't know. Now, other than the one thing that I would say, and I'm interested, you cannot shoot night. Like the sensor's too small. It can't capture enough light. I just haven't had luck with astrophotography.
Hey, Erik, somebody just, Jason wrote, what about long exposure? Guys, the long exposure computational photography in the iPhone is crazy.
I've shot long exposures of the silky water and all that. I remember shooting it, and I think I showed it to you, Scott. And it's interesting because I didn't have to put an ND filter on it.
Of course.
Because all it's doing is just doing the computation to do it. And then I was able to do that with a rocket streak, where I had a rocket streaking across the sky, and it's just be able to do it computationally.
Okay, but Erik, so you didn't have
ND filters,
you didn't have to buy an ND filter. You didn't have to buy multiple ND filters with different weights. You didn't have to carry them, and you didn't have to buy multiple sizes for multiple lenses. And this is what I'm saying, guys. This stuff.
This is the future.
It's not. It's the future is here now. We're missing just one part of this puzzle, which is the long lens. And when that long lens comes, Erik, we're not going to be happy, because we're going to be like, it's going to devastate. Look, we already know what the iPhone, in particular, the iPhone has done to the camera companies. The whole point and shoot camera business is gone. That was their bread and butter. They made so much money off those little point and shoot cameras that everybody bought. That business is gone. Now, how are DSLR sales? Now, I'm not talking about pandemic DSLR sales. How are DSLR sales in the last 10 years, Erik?
Oh, just down
by
down.
85%.
And
It went
even-
from 120,000 down to 20,000.
Well, even for the last few years, there's been like this uptick that they call in mirrorless sales. But if you look at it, it's not like
It's part of a
mirrorless
giant
sales are going
downtick.
up. It's on a downtick. Like when Sony was selling more mirrorlesses, they were selling less cameras though overall.
Right.
So it doesn't make you can't say it's going up.
If anybody doubts this, go look up camera industry data. Look at what Nikon's last earnings were. Look at what Canon's were. Forget the pandemic. Go back pre-pandemic. So go to 2019 and look at what their numbers were. Dude, you can find 100 articles that says, is Nikon going out of business? That's how bad the numbers were. Canon's numbers were terrible. Sony's numbers were terrible. Everybody's numbers were terrible. Olympus was closing their doors. Somebody bought them at the last minute. Guys, this is real stuff. And I know that you want to dismiss it. And you go, oh, well, it can't do this and it can't do that. That's a very temporary situation because I can list 25 things off the top of my head that my phone can do that my DSLR and my mirrorless can't do. My mirrorless can't post to the internet. I have got apps inside my phone that do incredible, amazing stuff. I have apps inside my phone that do stuff that Photoshop won't do. And they're cheap. They're like 99 cents or $1.99. Your lenses are built in your camera. Your ND is built in. All these things that we're lugging around. I'm telling you guys, if you need to kind of wake up and go, we might have to be rethinking things. And I think what saved us is that Apple did not put a 200 millimeter lens in that body. So, because we know we go, whew, we got another year. But I do want to mention a comment from.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a comment from a superstar in sports photography over in the UK, Claire Jones, British superstar, Claire Jones. She says, isn't the answer to use both? My iPhone can't quite get sports right. The tracking focus isn't there. But stadium shots and some celebration shots, it's brilliant. And I can have both pitch side. So, number one, Claire, here's where you're wrong. We don't use the word pitch side. That's just a made-up word. What you mean to say is sidelines. The rest you're perfectly right about. So I just wanted to just tease her. I know.
But then again, coming all the way full circle back around, this is why when we stress with photography, it is not the camera, it's not the devices, it's not all that stuff until it is like that point, until it is that stuff. There's things that the phone won't do. We know that. There are very small things the phone won't do, though. So,
all right, Eric,
and that list is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, but I'm telling you what, the list of the things that the phone can do, that the camera can't do, it got longer yesterday. All right,
and that's why I think when we get down to it, we need to spend most of our time as photographers learning the skills to make a great photo. And that's why we spend so much time. We talk about this all the time with Kelby 1. Why are so many of our classes about either the post-processing or the actual inspiration or the composition of the photo? Because that's the more important thing than what camera you own or what phone you have or what sensor size it is, what megapixel count it is. Those things don't matter that much nowadays. They really don't.
So Eric, what are you using for a camera that's photographing you right now for this webcast?
An iPhone 12.
So your iPhone can even do webcasting?
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy what it'll do. I mean, it'll do so much more. I have a GPS on it. I'm going to go out hiking in the backwoods. I could keep track of where I went.
Does your DSLR?
No.
Does it have photo pills?
No.
It doesn't have photo pills?
Hey, show me where the Milky Way is. My DSLR is going to just laugh at me.
Exactly. I'm telling you guys, the world is changing, and it's not just because of the pandemic.
That's what it comes down to. It's the world's just changing a little bit.
It's changing a lot. It's not changing a little. It's changing a lot.
Every year it's changing a little. You just got to change with it, and you can't be that person that says, "Oh, we're going back to film." We're not going back to film. It ain't happening.
We're not going back to film. All right.
Don't be that person.
Don't be that person. We are now officially overtime. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we got winners. We got another comment or two, and then we're going to wrap things up and let Mr. Kuna get to breakfast. So don't go away. We're coming right back with, after this break, something.
Would you believe us if we told you that you could fit studio lighting in your pocket? Well, Lytra has made it possible. Lytra is a global award-winning brand that designs and manufactures professional-grade camera lights that are compact, rugged, and waterproof. Whether you're using Lytra gear in a photo studio or underwater, Lytra's mission is to provide content creators with flexible and unlimited lighting tools that can mount on any camera, anywhere. Their lights come with a high CRI or color rendering index, making them some of the most color accurate lights in the industry. Due to the light's compact and rugged design, photographers are able to use the lights in ways that their studio lighting never could. Lytra has also made multiple lighting accessories available to fit your every need as a creator. Whether you're shooting portraits, nailing a product shot, or even flying your drone, they have got you covered. Lytra enables photographers and filmmakers to focus on their craft and create something beautiful. What will you create?
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version too. So sign up today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Scott's here with a very passionate Erik Kuna out in passionate New Mexico. I think it's New Mexico. It gets to you. It's a beautiful state. Beautiful people.
Well, it's the air, it's the altitude.
The Milky Way.
I get going.
The Milky Way bars, it does get you going. All right, so I had a comment here. Let me just read this comment because earlier, can you scroll up real quick? Hang on one second. From Karen, she mentioned before she got that iPhone pic that won an award. She said it actually wasn't intentional. I happened to leave my camera somewhere on accident, and I used my phone. Still got an award. There you go. Good on you, Karen. All right, we got some winners of goodies. Here we go. Jamie Whistler, you got the book. So there you go. Or it's Jamie Whistler Good, or just Jamie Good. You got the book. Congratulations. You got Victoria's book, the Adobe Fresco book, a step-by-step guide to digital painting for beginners right here. Victoria is wonderful. You will love her book. Also, Gary G asked to win the Fresco book. So, Gary G, congratulations. You picked up her book. Again, if you don't win her book, you can still go over to Amazon and pick them up. They're a bargain. Get two. All right. Jerry, you just won the Slick Pick portfolio. Congratulations, Jerry Plus. You just won. And George Carson, you won the 2-pack platypod. You said it would be great for a father and son team. So you got that right here. This is the only one I got. This is it. You're getting this very one. So for safety reasons, make sure you wash it with, spray it with, Lysol and stuff. Okay. All right. I think by the time it gets to you, it'll probably be okay. Yeah. But it's hard to say. We say the grid, as Erik will tell you, is a super spreader event. So that's why Erik and I are so far away from each other.
I know that, I got my negative test last week before I came. So
there you go.
I'm good.
And Erik is very negative. So I think that
I'm very negative.
I think it's true. All right. Well,
I'm
guys,
stay negative.
You know what I'd like you to do just to get out of this is to realize that things are changing. Have an open mind. I love my iPhone and I shoot with it often. I'm going to order the new iPhone as soon as it goes on order. But I'm also going to keep shooting. In fact, I'm looking at buying a new mirrorless. I want to buy that. What is it, Erik?
I've been shooting with
Canon,
the R6.
R6, that's the one I want.
Yeah.
So Erik rented one for this trip.
I rented one, yeah.
How you like it?
I've been. It's great. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I love the EOS R. I convinced you. I talked you into getting one.
You talked to me. You bullied me into getting one.
I bullied you to get one. But yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, yeah, it's a great. I mean, I love the mirrorless concept and all that. But it's a great camera. I mean, is it revolutionary? Is it going to change my life? No, but it's a lot better. I mean. Shooting with the mirrorless is so much easier with the Milky Way. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Yes. Well, thanks for joining us today, Erik, and Skyping in from an undisclosed location near Area 51, somewhere out west.
Oh, no. I've been to Area 51. That's a long way away.
No, you're there, Erik. You can admit it. It's okay. It's just us. All right. Yeah. Anyway, don't forget, you can still go to the Worldwide Photo Walk site and participate in the silent auction that is over tonight. And just want to also mention, if you were one of the winners of prizes, don't forget to email us at gridprize@kelby1.com. We'll confirm that you are you, and we'll send you out the goodies. All right. Is there anything else I needed to mention? We talked about, I got a seminar coming up. Woo! I got a seminar coming up this month. I am doing my entire ultimate photography crash course online for people out in the West. Where is it? Not the Pacific time zone, Mountain time zone. For if you're in the Mountain time zone, I'm going to be doing it. And let me get the date for you. It's at Kelby One Live, but I will tell you here in one moment. Oh, there it is. So it's Tuesday, October 27th. I'll be doing my full seminar. You'll get the workbook and all the goodies. It's just you and me, and we're hanging out. So come and join us. I'll be doing the entire day, just like I do it in person, but I'll be doing it live. It's not recorded. It's me, and I'll be answering your questions, and we'll be having a great time. And it's a very, very popular seminar. So come out, get your tickets now, and I'll see you in just a couple of weeks, right? 10 days, 12 days, I don't know, 15 days. Not too long at all, and I would love for you to come and join me. So come and do that. Go to kelby1live.com to sign up for that. We will see you guys next Wednesday. Yes, Erik, are we here next Wednesday?
Yeah, we're here.
Will you come back on your?
I'll be here.
All right, okay.
I'll be here.
You can Skype in from right over there on that table where Erik normally is. Anyway, thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to you guys for watching today. Congratulations to all the winners of the Worldwide Photo Walk, the finalists and the honorable mentions, and the grand prize winner from the UK. Go watch my video over my facebook.com/skelby to see the winning images. They were phenomenal this year, and the winner is incredibly intriguing, especially when you hear the story of why I chose it. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. And what's so amazing, there's so many great images this year.
Are.
So it was a very hard one, but I love the one we chose.
Yeah, I do too. I'm really happy with it. I think it's a perfect image for many reasons. All right, everybody take care, stay safe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, Erik. See you guys.
All right, see you. Bye.
Light is photography. That's why, besides the camera itself, perhaps the most powerful tool a photographer has is a flash. When you hold it in your hand, you're holding the ability to create light on demand. When you understand light, you can create drama, mood, and emotion. For many photographers, learning flash has been an uphill battle, and some have simply given up. But that's all about to change. What if you could spend 2 full days with 2 of our industry's most passionate, gifted teachers who would finally demystify flash for the beginner and push and challenge more experienced flash users? Can you imagine just how far you would go in those 2 days? This fall, you'll have that opportunity as 2 of the top flash authors and educators come together to create a truly unique learning experience. Joe McNally, the man who opened the photographic world to the real power of flash and inspired an entire generation of flash users through his books, The Moment It Clicks and The Hot Shoot Diaries, along with Scott Kelby, author of The Flash Book, the #1 best-selling book on flash for the past 3 years, have come together to coach you, to mentor you, to teach, inform, and illuminate by sharing their latest flash techniques, their hard-earned secrets, and even the post-processing and retouching work that goes into making stunning, remarkable images as you uncover a whole new world of light powered by just a simple flash. It's 2 full days, all presented live, all online. This is the Flash Photography Conference. The power of light is in your hands.